So Dante, today I got two names for you. Sharon Reed and Joy Taylor.
Joy Taylor Part 2, I see.
Yeah, this is a little bit of the continued fallout from the FS1 lawsuit, but this one is slightly different. So what we're going to take a look at tonight, if you recall from last time, I said that women were going to support Joy Taylor's liaisons. And in this particular video, Sharon Reed does exactly that.
All right, it sounds interesting with the liaisons.
In this first video, what we're going to see is a little bit of the backstory. Sharon Reed is going to kind of go into the lawsuit. So stick with us, everybody. This is just kind of getting people caught up if you have forgotten or you hadn't necessarily seen it. I don't know how you could have avoided it, but that's what we're going to see in this first video. But before we get to that, be sure to like and subscribe because we're trying to grow this channel.
Marcellus Wiley, former co-host of FS1's Speak for Yourself, is speaking for himself, saying he's now considering suing the network for conspiring to replace him on the show with Joy Taylor, who allegedly curried the favor of Dixon with sexual favors and dismissed concerns from the hairdresser, Nushin Faraji, of sexual harassment. We should mention, Joy Taylor could be innocent in this whole thing. And I don't know what to believe. I'm trying to take that look right now, Wiley said in an interview Wednesday with Jason Whitlock. Okay, there, you just discredits everything for me. You're now going to Jason Whitlock he's now leading on the story. He's breaking news on the story. Okay. Faraji sued Fox Sports, Dixon, Skip Bayless for sexual battery, hostile work environment. She accused Dixon of, quote, rubbing her body, grabbing her buttocks at a birthday party in 2017 for Taylor and Bayless. Caught up in the lawsuit is some of Fox Sports' top broadcasting talent, including ex-Speak for Yourself host Emmanuel Aiko, was also allegedly engaged in a relationship with Taylor. 2022, the show was rebranded as Speak, with Taylor replacing Wiley, while Aiko co-hosts the facility. He got to keep his gig. When the lawsuit was filed, Wiley said in an interview that he realized he got squeezed because Charlie and Joy and Aiko are all running the triangle on me. The plaintiff says that Taylor engaged in a sexual relationship with Dixon to get a position on Undisputed. Lawsuit alleges a harrowing saga of systemic abuse and complicity over almost a decade. Despite the breadth of the allegations, the majority of online backlash by sports fans, tabloids, and even some commenters has, let's go after the woman. Let's go after the beautiful woman who doesn't belong in sports. How dare she? She's leading with sex.
Okay, so that's the recap. Now we're going to get into the substance.
Other inappropriate jokes about Taylor and other women in sports media are, of course, already being made. Now, see, this is the part where I am a rebel. Fox Sports, I don't doubt that there's some Wild West type nonsense going on there, just like ESPN and the reporting over the years. But I need people to hear me. I don't care if Joy Taylor was having liaisons with everyone. She's an adult and she could do what she want to do. She's an adult and she could do what she want to do.
Okay, so there it is. Sharon Reed does not care if Joy Taylor had liaisons with everyone. She's an adult and she could do what she want to do. Well, I thought with the allegations of women sleeping their way to the top, I thought that was frowned upon, but it appears that Sharon Reed is okay with it. Did you take from that the same thing I took from it?
I did. It's like I always thought it's always been frowned upon. Although Sharon Reed is right, yes, Joy Taylor is an adult. She can do what she want to do. I'm not understanding from Reed's perspective, like, why is that acceptable?
Well, I can give you a little bit of my opinion on why it's acceptable. If you look at the poster behind me, this is for a movie called Disclosure. This was a movie that came out in 1994 where the woman was the sexual predator. She sexually harassed the man in the movie. And I believe what we're seeing here with this whole FS1 lawsuit controversy is that in American society, I don't think our society knows how to handle instances, situations when the woman is the predator. And that's very same about the movie. The woman was the predator. And we still haven't evolved in American society to say the way a woman behaves and the way a man behaves is exactly the same thing. It's just a different gender. I think what we're seeing with Sharon Reed is a little bit of that.
Now, Okay. With that, with Sharon Reed, is it just bias?
Definitely. I believe if you look at the full clip, which we will put below, I believe it's a bit of feminism, like
Mm.
women supporting the feminist movement, where women want men to be replaced in all these roles and replace them with women. You'll see it. She's going to come out with her feminist views about men and kind of disparaging men and disparaging Marcellus Wiley. We're going to show it. So I think it has a lot to do with her feminist mindset. So in this next video, what we're going to see is Sharon Reed surprisingly throwing shade at Marcellus Wiley and even including Marcellus Wiley's wife. This was an unbelievable clip that I haven't seen anybody post anywhere. And I just can't believe that she is disparaging this man and his wife.
I mean, just by the sound of it, it is very wild. It's just, I am curious of how this will go after.
Well, the reason that she gives is going to be even more shocking. Just throwing shade at Marcellus Wiley, his wife, his profession, his professionalism. And she clearly doesn't watch Marcellus Wiley, but you'll see. Everybody, you'll see. This is crazy.
Marcellus, only the best people. I don't know that that's the case with you, but that's just my opinion. And that's the beauty of this whole thing. You can kind of get lost in opinions and preferences. But yeah, sometimes they're rooted in sexism and racism and who's hot and who's not. I mean, if the men were judged like that, would Skip Bayless have ever been on TV? No. And that's just a fact. So I hate this double standard, Woes. Do you know how men act in the workplace, particularly talent sometimes? And you're sitting up here worried about one woman who allegedly had to sleep around to get in the chair. She had no power. Y'all ought to be, I wish more women would replace more of them, even if they're not as good as them, just so you could see how it feels.
Okay. As you can see there, he has the feminist mindset there. Replace the men with the women, even if they're not as good, so they can see how it feels. I don't know what the men of today have to do with what happened in the past and replacing someone today because of any sort of perceived slight or actual slight that happened in the past. What does that have to do with the men of 2025? It seems like her problem may be with the executive. I'm not really understanding her perspective. And then she throws some shade at Skip Bayless. He wouldn't have had his job otherwise. There's a lot of information, or there's a lot of things that she's thinking about or that she knows about, like she feels personally slighted by these things. And it's not all fitting together very well. She just seems to just be ranting pretty much.
Well, that's more fitting. Yeah, it's like her ranting, but
Mhm.
it's just like you said, it's like, what does that have to do with the men today? Like men today getting punished for what happened back then. It's just that you're kind of working backwards here. It's like, what will that do? Just to see how it feels back
Mhm.
then. Like I'm pretty sure they weren't even aware of it.
Or the guys that she's trying to slight back then probably retired now, and then some of them may not even be alive anymore. So what point are you really trying to prove just by inserting women into positions, regardless of if they're qualified or not? And like I said, I don't really know where she was going with this, but this came off really bad. I'm kind of surprised that this was even broadcast on Dr. Rashad Ritchie's indisputable channel, where he tends to talk about issues, race issues, Black people being slighted in various instances, throughout the US or even the world. And this goes out on his channel. And as of today, it is still there, where she's just throwing all this shade at people for no particular reason. But, hey, Dr. Sharrich, I still respect you, but this was a bad one. As we are about to wrap this up, we're going to get to the last part, where Sharon Reed really throws the shade at Marcellus Wiley and his wife. Unfortunately, this is sad.
Number one, I will say this about your friend, Marcellus Wiley. Perhaps I am being unfair. The truth is, I didn't like his wife on the one season on Beverly Hills Housewives. She got on my nerves. And so that's just the truth. I said, who cast her? She was annoying start to finish, and then they got rid of her. And I'm human. That could be it. The fact that you even have to run down Joy Taylor's resume and judge her as good at her job is exactly the point. Nobody does that with these bums, these men who have been stealing the money in these jobs for years because some groupie executive put them on the air when they shouldn't be on the air. Okay? So the standard's not she's great at her job. She'd fit in great if she sucked at her job. And
Okay, so what I'll say is this is some BS with Sharon Reed saying that the reason that she doesn't like Marcellus Wiley is because she didn't like his wife on one of these housewives shows. So not only are you disparaging Marcellus Wiley, you're also disparaging his wife because of a TV show. TV show. No matter what this man has accomplished, what he's done in the NFL, how he's helping kids now, his youth program, none of that. He has 4 kids, him and his wife married. You're disparaging all of that because of her role on a TV show. As I said, Dr. Richie, I am super disappointed that this is still on your platform. But go ahead, Dante. I mean, this is insane.
I mean, the fact that it's still on his platform, it's just like what message is being sent here? Well, not even that. It's like even before that. Let's go deep down to it. You had to do like make some kind of edits and all that, and then you still gave the go ahead. I'm pretty sure he didn't specifically give the go ahead, but it's just like this wasn't brought to your attention like sooner or later.
Like maybe this isn't the right message we want to push. And the guy that was sitting with her, I think she called him Waz. I'm not really sure what his full name is. If you watch the full clip, people, you watch the full clip, he says that he's friends with Marcellus Wiley. And this is how you let someone talk about your friend right in front of you. Laugh is showing all his teeth. You saw the way he was threw his head back, was laughing like this was the biggest joke ever. Look, man, with friends like this, man, you don't need any enemies.
He probably had it in the back of his mind, like at some point, because for him to not even say anything or like stick up like for him, like
he must be trying to keep his job. I don't really know what it is, but that's just crazy. But hey, man, this is the world we live in. You can disparage men, black men, their wives, and there's no repercussions.
Damn shame. It'd really be your own.
Ain't that the truth? And with that being said, till next time, we out, y'all.